Good morning, and welcome to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We'd like to start off by saying thank you for joining our podcast. Boy, have our numbers grown. I've always said that numbers would grow. I've always said you don't have to follow the number, that the numbers would come to you. And true to what my co-host and I believe in, we kept going. And so you've been able to find us. We say thank you for finding us. Today is Think About Thursday. Let me ask you something. Have you thought about Thursday? Have you thought about Thursday? Can you hear me okay? Have you thought about Thursday and what that means? Thinking about Thursday is always going to provide for you something in which to really think about. We are here and we want to ask you, what parts of yourself are you sending love to? That is our Vibe Talk question of the day. What parts of yourself are you sending love to? Because we always say, send someone my love. We always say best wishes. But what part of you are you loving? Good morning, Trish.
Good morning.
As we are live, our podcast deals with emotion and feelings. And we too have feelings along with emotion. We all experience it differently. So we want to be mindful of ourselves as we will be mindful of others. We're going to talk about this. Trish, thank you for joining us. We all have something to be thankful for. What are we thankful for? I love Vibe Talk because it gives us thought. It gives us the ability to think more clearly. When we think about ourselves and what helps us challenge ourselves. Could it be that we need more challenging ourselves, facing our challenges, and those challenges are here known as facing lion? What are you thankful for today, Trish?
I'm thankful for being able to love. That's what I'm thankful for.
I love that. And I am thankful for these allergies stopping, because for the last 2 days it's been absolutely miserable. How about you guys? Are you guys okay out there? We want to thank you guys for choosing us as you feel loved, as you are loved. We want to talk about how you're treating yourself. See if you can't get something to take away, a takeaway from this Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, with something to think about. How do you treat yourself? How do you nurture yourself? You. That is your well-being. When we think about loving ourselves as we love others, how do you feel about yourself? Those are the questions that we're asking. Our Vibe Talk question was up here, and we're looking at a blank screen, but we are here. So we want you to know that we are working on ourselves. And yesterday, we were not here live. So today, we're going to focus in on being well, staying well, and getting well soon. How many of you have graduated to the point of where you start saying, I am welling myself? Boy, does that feel good. I've been doing that lately because that's the truth. Welling myself. How about you? What level are you on with your sending love to you? All of us want to be loved, need to be loved, and thrive from love. If you've ever seen couples, you automatically know the way that they love. Mine, for instance, to see that I really love, is to see an older couple. I had the privilege of meeting an older couple, who was in the grocery store, and I'm going to play you a sample of it. I actually did take a video, but I look so bad because my hair was not done, and I'm going to forego that, but I will play the video for you. And as I watched this couple in the grocery store without stalking them, their love had growth. So I was curious to know how long they had been married, because truly, to the very depths of their soul, I found out that they were actually holding each other up, an elderly couple. I was so moved by that. And what I do a lot of times for our Wednesday wellness, I will go out and talk to the general population wherever I'm finding them. So true to myself, I went to find out about them. We're going to play that video. Please don't let me forget. When you think of that, it moves me. And as I quote, young people have no idea of what that kind of love is. When I walked over to the people, I said, I love the way you guys are walking down the aisle, literally pushing the cart. The lady said, we're just trying to hold each other up. Sweetest couple. Moved by that experience, it made me think there is a lot of love in that relationship. They have so much to give. Sometimes we have so much to give ourselves without even knowing it. We expect love from others. We expect so much from others. But now, what about loving ourselves? We'll be right back. We'll be right back. We're back. What do you think? Or do you think loving yourself is important? What would you say, Trish?
I say it's very important. Um, for the fact that when you love yourself, you can take care of yourself better than anybody else can. You know how to basically deal with yourself when others don't know what to do with you. You know what to do with yourself. So it's like you're being there for you when nobody is there for you.
Yeah. How about that? That's beautiful. Thank you for that. When you love yourself, you think about your thoughts and your feelings, how you feel about yourself positively. If I were to ask a group of you how you felt about yourself, no doubt you would all give me a different story. Our vibe talk question is, what parts of yourself are you loving just a little bit more? And you can turn that question into this one. What parts of yourself would you like to love? Let's not be shallow, but think deeply about that thought as we're busy loving others. I want to just say that this month is Suicide Prevention Month. If you go and put that in with the number, and I feel like this is important. People have committed suicide due to feeling negative parts of themselves, feeling as if no one loves them, no one sees them. We don't understand. And we're going to talk about understanding ourselves just a little bit. We want you to have a positive feel about you, yourself, and you. Sometimes in life, we've had feelings of anger, we've been disappointed, we've even been upset. With those three things that I've just said, can you identify when you've been upset about someone or something? And that includes yourself. When you've been angry about someone or something, or you've been disappointed with something or someone, you will understand that emotion. But I say to you, and pull your chair up just a little bit closer, come closer. With those feelings, can you still love yourself? Sometimes we're angry. How many of us have ever felt upset, angry, disappointed? There's a lot of emotions, but we're going to talk about those for a moment. We've been upset at ourselves. Some of us said, wow, I could kick myself. How many times have we said that?
A lot.
Yeah, I've said that a lot. Wow, I'm so dumb. We talk negatively into ourselves, but we need to be just a little bit more kind to ourselves. You know, people in our world there are still kind people left. But even some kind people have had to learn to love themselves just a little bit. Now, about loving ourselves, despite those three things that I've said, can you reaffirm your love as you would to a family member, to a partner in life, to a coworker? Because those moments are momentarily, and I mean that. Take, for instance, I could be really upset with my kids. I could be really upset, but then I understand that I also love them. Many of us have been so upset and so angry that we have given up. We have thrown in the towel. We don't take it lightly. We ask that you reaffirm your love for you. Relate to others, and that's what we do here. Our first year was all about um, relating to other people's feelings. And by the way, if you haven't saw our post for group virtually, that's what we're doing. We're going to start that back up, and it's going to be on video. If you'd like to participate along with my co-host and I, we're going to need 10 people or more. Just write your name in the chat box wherever you're listening to us, and we will personally get back to you. There's no cost, but we do accept voluntary materials. We always accept that. This class is free. It's free. And we want to tell you how free it is. And as we are coming together, we want you to tell others so that they can share it. Do you think, though, that if we love ourselves just a little bit more, that would mean one less person taking their own lives? Let's be serious. When you love yourself, it doesn't mean that you're going to be positive all the time. It just means that you have those feelings. Remember the three? Anger, disappointment, and upset. How many times have you and I had anger, disappointment, and upset? Sometimes we have to get through the struggle to come through. And we learn a little bit more about ourselves. But that's not everybody. And that's why we want you to be aware that this is Suicide Month. People can become so upset, so angry, and so disappointed in themselves is that they have given up on life because they didn't know the power of loving themselves just a little bit. So we are sending you love. Now, when we love ourselves, just like when we love others, we forgive them. I can be so mad at my adult children sometimes, but then all was forgiven once I calm down. Can we do that with ourselves? What do you think, Trish?
I think we should, and it should be very valid in our mindset. I have trouble doing that, loving myself when I'm angry or upset or disappointed. I can automatically love my siblings or family or friends when I get mad at them. Like I can automatically forgive them, but it's hard for me to do that for myself. When I get mad at somebody and I jump out of character or I beat myself up, I'm like, why did I let myself do that? And they're over it, but I'm not over it. I'm still thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can learn a thing or two about loving myself in spite of knowing the fact that I'm human and I have negative feelings sometimes.
Yeah. Thank you for that honesty. I love that. Loving ourselves. We'll be right back. We're discussing that. And our Vibe Talk question, Trish, is what?
It is, what parts of yourself are you loving?
We'll be right back.
Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. Go give it a shot.
We are back, and thank you for joining our podcast. We are live and interactive. So we're talking about loving ourselves. Is it possible? If you know how to love others, here's your power. You know how to love yourself. Wow, you say. See, that's your power. If you are capable of loving others, you're capable of loving yourself. You just have to stay aware. Sometimes it's looking at ourselves in the mirror deeply, past our selves. That's the point of our being able to look at ourselves honestly in facing the mirror. Get past ourselves, past how we perceive ourselves. I really have an interesting project I want you all to try if you get a chance. So, what does sending love to you, yourself, and you look like? How many times have you said something positive to yourself? How many times have you done that? If you can't remember, you haven't done it enough time. What was the last positive thing you said about yourself? The last positive thing I said to myself is that I can endure. I will endure. I found power in speaking unto myself, speaking into myself. What about you, Trish? When was the last time you talked positively to yourself, and what did you say?
The last time was 3 days ago when I made an instrumental. I told myself I did a good job. I ate that up.
Yeah, I saw that. And by the way, you're talking about the music that you put up. I love it. And Trisha's music can be found in our comments below. Trisha, if you put that there, please and thank you. Many people self-destruct. I was one of those people. So I don't forget the people that are going through it. Because maybe they haven't been so fortunate. If you've lost someone that was self-destructive, then you'll appreciate that they didn't know that they had the power to forgive themselves. They didn't have the awareness to know that within them is the capability to love themselves. And that's what Vibe Talk is all about. Awareness, teaching you to be aware. How many times have you forgiven yourself when you messed up? Every day that's a fight for me. Because when I'm talking to my kids, I forgive myself because maybe I didn't say the right thing. So I beat myself up and I go, oh man, I hope they don't think that I don't like them or that I don't love them. And then I'm chewing on it all day long, thinking about it all day long. Now I have learned to forgive myself and realize that all parents make mistakes. And all of us will make mistakes in any given relationship. Why? Because we're not perfect. Bam, there's your power. The power to recognize that you are human and you're not perfect. How many times have we met a deadline of a school paper, a work project, a family project, and we need to meet a deadline? We need to meet even dates. If you went on a date, you are trying to get there on time. How many of us have experienced those feelings?
I have.
Me too. Now we all can relate. But now, what about meeting your own needs? Have you ever just thought, today I'm tired and I just need to relax? Is that loving yourself? Or is that being selfish? We're going to let you guys start conversations about that. Sometimes when you're tired, is it okay to say, I need to just rest, recharge, refuel? Meeting your own needs. Being assertive. When we are assertive, we become aware. Assertive. We're going to talk about that. Being assertive and how that looks to many of us. How does being assertive look to you, Trish, in your being able to send love and understanding to yourself?
To me, that looks like always being on my P's and Q's when I'm doubting myself. I always have an automatic positive thought saying, nope, you got this, keep going. That's how it looks to me.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. And that's what we want to do here. Keep going. Now, when we're assertive, I want you guys to think about being assertive. When you are assertive, you are being able to know and face your challenges. Know and face your challenges. Strong-willed, feisty. People call me feisty. Assured. Determined. I think you said that, Trish. So are we being assertive? Thank you for that, Trish. How about in your life sending more love to yourself, are you in your lifetime allowing other people to take advantage of you or abuse you? And we've talked about abuse, what it looks like. Let's see. We're going to ask some questions without telling you how to feel. Is there someone or something in your life right now, or circumstance or situations, that you feel abused? We're talking about mental, physical, emotional, spiritually. Are you allowing others to abuse you? We get to the heart and soul of the matter. And this is providing you with thought, thinking on this Thursday. Are you letting others abuse you, your person, or your life? How about others taking advantage of you? Are you assertive and knowing the signs of what taking advantage looks like? Because sometimes when we're allowing other people to do these things, taking advantage or abusing us, what we're saying to ourselves is we are not worthy of love, of sending love to ourselves. That's what we say. Thank you so much for that. So we want you to look at the comments. Thank you so much to my co-host for putting that there. How about your well-being? Wednesday Wellness is all about welling yourself. I asked the question before on welling yourselves. How are you doing in that area? We're going to be right back. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Are going to be right back.
Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories. iHeartRadio, Apple Music, YouTube, and so much more. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Go give it a shot.
We're back. We are talking about sending yourself love and understanding to your well-being. Are you well? Are you getting well? Are you staying well? Because I bid you to get well soon. You know, with me, I will forego pain. I've been doing that for so long. I say I don't want to be in pain. I don't want to be in pain because I've got things to do. And we can laugh at ourselves too, because that's okay to find humor in life. But then I have to backtrack what I've just said, think about, reel into how that sounds. Because you know what? People with cancer, they are challenging themselves. They are getting up every day in their current conditions and fighting, holding on, inspiring, motivating, and healing the very souls of the people that have had cancerous thinking of themselves. I bid you to find someone in your lifetime and have a seat with them, and they are forever encouraging you to do what? Think about your health, your well-being. They're not sitting on their laurels feeling sorry for themselves. And a lot of people have said for many years they're going to beat this thing, this sickened disease that has interrupted lives of so many that we love. When you look at that, you start to look into your life and you start to say to yourself, wow, I've got to change how I view things in life. People that have terminal cancer, we've talked about this, they're not going to tell you at every meeting that they have terminal cancer. You know what they do? They're dealing with it. They're taking care of themselves. They're doing what is best for them. And you're never going to see them, not publicly, have a down day. You're never going to see that. What should that do for you and I? Provide strength for us. That we stop speaking cancerous things into ourselves, because that we can control. If you take a person that has cancer versus a person who does not, and the other person that does not have cancer may be struggling from a cancerous mindset, from a cancerous soul, there's quite the difference. Let's think about that. They're looking to well themselves. They will take every measure to get rid of this ugly disease. You find power in that, because if you do, there is your wellness journey's beginning. How about your circle? Let's ask that question when you're working on self-love. Let's start by asking, what are you worth? A lot of people like to spend time having drama in their life. How many of you know people that always has drama in their life? Anybody?
I do.
Yeah, and how do you feel when they have drama in their life?
I feel irritated for them, and I don't want to hear it because they're always telling me.
Mhm.
And I also feel like that can't be fun, always having drama, personally, to me. So,
Yeah. And if your life looks like you have people with drama in their lives, they don't feel the need to work on the drama that's in their life, because a lot of times their drama is self-inflicted. You know anybody like that? They're going to tell you about their drama. They self-inflict themselves with that cancerous mindset. And if you listen to it long enough, you become just like them in your mindset of thinking, in your soul, and that is the soul of your mirror. That's the one that speaks to you and says, wow, I don't want to hear this. Wow. Let's get that straight. They can never say a positive thing because they are sickened and diseased with that cancerous attitude, and yet they feel powerless. I say to those people, start visiting people that really have cancer that they can do nothing about. And do that for yourself at least once, twice, every day if you can. Sit down and have a look-see and look at their life. And you'll have to ask yourself, wait a minute, they got cancer and they're encouraging me. What's really going on? Think about that. We want to welcome all to Vibe Talk. For those who are listening, can you let us know where you're from? This goes on platform all around the world. We're so happy. Thank you for joining us. How are you spending your time? Are you with the drama club, the dramedy people? Are you with the people that are actually doing something, in this line of work and my ministry? I know all kind of people, young, old, and I'm touched by many of the people. Now I get to make the choice. And you know what the choice is? I get to have the power to say who I want in my life, who I want to spend time with. What is the operative word that I just used? Did you hear it? Did you hear it, Trish?
Yes,
What was it?
time.
Time, choice, choosing. See, that's our power. When you start creating for yourself self-love, it begins to look like wellness. Wellness, I said. So I ask you at this time, are you well in yourself? Have you thought about getting on the wellness train? Because it's going to take a lot of strength to get through the struggle. But you can do it. Speak onto yourself. Speak into yourself. Don't wait for others to do it. Spend time working on you. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about asking for help. We'll be right back. Did you know that Vibe Talk provides individual and group sessions customized to fit your circumstances? Get with Vibe Talk, Facing the Lions podcast. Our number for direct connect is 503-8993. That's 661-503-8993. How many of us have trouble asking for help?
I do.
I used to, really bad. Really bad. See, for me to ask for help, what that meant is that I wasn't strong. If I asked for help, that means I wasn't strong. Because I used to say, I could do it myself. I don't need anybody's help. I remember as a teen there were two mentor ladies in my life that I learned a lot from. And I remember dropping a handful of books, and weeks before that, I used to say, I don't need help. I don't want anybody's help. I can do it myself. See what I had spoken to myself, spoke into myself? I actually really believe that. So one day, as I was in the presence of these two mentors, spiritual mentors, I dropped some books. They proceeded to walk past me as if they weren't seeing it. Funny story, but true. So as I was struggling to pick up the book, I said, why didn't you help me? You saw me drop all my books. You walked right past us. They turned around and they said to me, you said you didn't need or want help. What can we learn from my story? There is nothing wrong with asking for help. What do you suppose you would get if you ask for help? What's the worst thing that could happen to you, Trish? And you, audience, what's the worst thing that you think could happen to you? I want you to think about this. What do you think, Trish? What's the worst thing?
I don't I don't think there's a worse thing. I just think that my mindset is on if I ask for help, that means I couldn't do it myself in the first place. So
Okay.
that's where my head is at. I don't think of if I get help, then I could have been done with this situation. I have my solution already and I can go and move forward. I always think, let me do it myself because I want to know that I can do it. So, yeah.
When I didn't ask for help in the story that I just told you, the worst that happened was, number one, I dropped my books. And number two, that people are going to hear you if you speak it loud enough and long enough. I want you to pull your chair up, come closer. That means, did you hear me? Do you understand? When you don't ask for help, people are going to honor that. Vibe Talk has become so public that in just 1 week, our page has grown. 1 week. Why? Because we're letting you know that help is out there. That is, if you really want it. If you don't ask for help, people are not going to reach out and reach out. And that's where we have to realize that your mental and emotional health matters. Just know that we're here. When you're ready, that is. We're going back to the thought of anger. If I were to ask everyone who listened to this podcast this question resoundingly, I would get everyone who has listened to this question the anger that you are holding on to right now. For those of you who have ever experienced anger, where has it gotten you? Those long periods of anger. Do you feel well inside? I want you to try this experiment. We've done this experiment before, so get ready. Look at your hands. Your hands have the capability of doing so much. We can't even list all the things that we've done with our hands, but now this experiment may teach you something or not. I want you to take your hands and ball your fist up as tight as you can. Ready? Squeeze your fist as tight as you can. And don't let go until I tell you to. Release it. How did that experiment make you feel? Anybody?
It was painful.
Yeah, I hurt myself. When I told you to release it, how did it make you feel?
Relieved.
Yeah. Whenever you have anger, just do that experiment because that's what you're doing to yourself. You're painting yourself, not the other person. Think about that. Think about that. We challenge ourselves on a daily basis to do what? Face our feelings, our emotions, and the experiences that go with them. That's power. Because at the end of each week, we ask this question. We're doing more so now. What are you facing? What challenges are you facing? Do you recognize where you've been strong? Sometimes I go back and I look at things and I say to myself, wow, that was my strength. When I think that I'm not okay and then I look back and I see signs of growth in myself, hold on to that and recognize. Don't wait for anyone to tell you your strength. Find your strength. Find your strength. That's power. You say people don't value your feelings? Well, that's what we're all about. We're going to be right back. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. We got to go to commercial.
Feel free to be interactive and tell us your stories.
Did you know that Alexa, Siri, and Google can help you find where we are? Just ask Alexa, Google, and Siri about Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Go ahead. I challenge you. We're back, and thank you for joining us. You say people don't value your feelings? Let me ask you. While you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, how about you? Do you value your feelings? Let me ask you another question. What feelings do you value about yourself? Trish?
I value my happiness and I value my peace.
Love that. Thank you for that. I would have to say I value my peace and I value my trust and who I trust. What do you value? What feelings do you value? If you want to have others value your feelings, start by asking yourself, how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? When did I start feeling this way? And then challenge yourself to change it or make it better. Your feelings matter. If no one has told you that today, know that your feelings really do. What you go through, how you feel, people that live around us are afraid to talk about how they feel. And that fear that you and I have, we will never know what's on the other side of that. Many people have come to Vibe Talk and they've said after coming to Vibe Talk how much better they felt. They have truly taken their butterfly wings and flown to other things. And your wellness is your wellness. We all have feelings. I want you to think about, do you value? Values. We talk about value. What is the most valuable thing to you? Some of you are classifying your value through material possessions, while others of you may value your pets, others value friendship, loyalty, all those emotions. What do you value? We want you to challenge yourself more often. We want you to become the lion that lives in strong and brave, courageous, watchful. Most of all, we want you to think about accountability and responsibility. You know, sometimes people play the blame game. Well, I did this because you did this. No, here's how you start. The part that I played in this situation was this. If you have circumstances that fit you and you not held yourself accountable, challenge yourself to be accountable. You know, we challenge our young ones. We tell them constantly, you have to go to school to get an education. We make them accountable by waking them up. Oh, oh boy, the times I've done that. They get our wake-up call. We're their alarm clocks for life, getting them ready for school. If you are of school age or in college, because we know that there's a lot of people that go to college, they work. Are you holding yourself accountable for the things that you must do? Becoming an alarm clock for yourself, because the alarm clock makes you aware that it's time to get up. So I say to you, it's time for you and I to challenge ourselves to stand accountable. And if you're playing the blame game because you don't want to be responsible for maybe things that are happening in your life that you're allowing to happen. Sometimes there's an unforeseen occurrence that happen, but I challenge you to be accountable and responsible for the things that happen that you can control, because life presents itself. One way life presents itself in that you have no control. In another way, you have choices. You can present yourself as, I'm going to be responsible. You can learn from, I need to be responsible. You can teach yourself to become responsible and accountable. Challenge yourself. You know, how many of us want to be perfect? Anybody out there want to be perfect? I want to.
I do.
Yeah, everybody wants to be perfect. Nothing's wrong. We watch commercials and the people used to be flawless. Remember those commercials where you didn't see a lot of heavy set people, big women, big men? Now that sells now. You see, the world puts in our minds that we have to look a certain way. That's perfection. But they're human just like you and I. And so now, have we learned that we're imperfect? We're perfectly imperfect. How's that? I'll leave that right there. We will not accept ourselves or speak into our imperfections. Some of us even deny that we have them, believing that we're perfect. When in fact, if we stand in the mirror long enough, we are flawed. But you can do something about it. You can challenge yourself to work on the parts that you dislike. We're not talking about people who lift their butts, lift their eyes, lift their cheeks, lift their this and that. We're talking about personality behaviors. People will spend billions of dollars to fix this or that. They will jump through fires and hurdles. That's all fine. Vibe Talk will not tell you not to do that. We're asking you to challenge yourself, your inner self, that is. Change, challenge, choose. How about you? Have you reached your butterfly stage? We talk a lot about that. We'll be right back. Vibe Talk challenges you by individual, group sessions. All you have to do is find and follow us. Send us a message. We do virtual, group, and individual sessions. We're back. So, have you noticed that you've changed, Trish? Have you noticed that you've changed?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And how does that feel to you, noticing your changes?
It feels it feels good, but surreal at the same time because where I was at, it was it made it seem like I couldn't get out of that dark space. So where I'm at right now, I'm at a good place right now with myself. So it feels like a dream, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it feels like this is where I was supposed to be at already, but I'm here now. That's how it feels.
Love it. Love that. Thank you all for joining us. we're talking about sending yourself love and understanding. Sending yourself love and understanding. Just one moment. One moment. When we send ourselves love, we build in our self value, understanding, even on the things we necessarily don't like. We are choosing to put value into ourselves, to speak value into the things that we care about. A lot of us feel that we're incapable to love ourselves. I speak from true experience. But now, the value of loving yourself is very important. You see, without that self love, you begin to be self critical. How many of you have beat yourself up?
I have.
Anybody? Yeah. And all of us, if I ask you right now, what do you beat yourself up about the most? We all have beat ourselves up about something. When we're by ourselves, we think about the self critical parts of ourselves. And then we fall into the category of pleasing other people at the demise of ourselves. We become less important, and the person that you want to please becomes in that place. We're not teaching you to not think about others. We want you to think about others. We demise ourselves by neglecting our feelings. And then the more we talk, the more we realize that we have been sabotaging, sending ourselves love. Even when I say that, sending love to yourself, how does that make you feel? Is that an easy thing to do? What do you think, Trish?
No, it's not for me because it's a. If I think about it subconsciously, just like sending love to myself, I see it as sending myself, I don't know, a heart or an emoji or something.
Yeah.
And I just cringe at the thought of why am I texting myself this? But then when I think about it, it's like, people don't send me that a lot. Maybe I need to hear it from me instead of waiting on other people. So, yeah.
So, how do we change that sentence to make it more positive? Is it a maybe you need to send your love to you? How can you change that to a positive affirmation?
Um,
What would you say?
I'd say I need to send myself love more often.
Yeah. And I need to challenge myself to that love more often. Because you see, my love is hard. Everyone who knows me knows that. It's just by nature. But it can also be very dangerous because why? I can be angry with you twice as much as that. So I need to balance that out by sending myself love to be centered in that and let go of feeling like everything is done to hurt me. Everything is done because life is just that way. We all feel like that. But the more that we learn about loving ourselves a little bit more, our insides, because a lot of you, and I say this all the time, myself included, we look in the mirror and we say, dang, I look good. How many times have we said that? Let's be honest. But we're not talking about the outside. We're talking about the inner cores of ourselves. I want to give you another example. You know, I love green apples. Sour and sweet at the same time. Shout out to Granny Smith apples. But now, when I bite into that apple, I'm going to eventually get to the core of the apple. I say to you, get to the core of why you are you. We are not understanding that because we're so busy understanding others in place of ourselves. Get to the core, the center, the root cause of why you're you. Get to the apple so that you can be the apple of your eye. Self-love, excuse me. Self-love is that core of you. Self-love. Everyone has a core. It's the foundation that sets the boundaries. It creates space, safe space for you. Self-care talks about your goals and feeling proud, valuable, worthy of who and why you. We're not talking about being narcissistic. Narcissism. We're not talking about that. Narcissism. We're talking about healthy love. Because no one is above anyone and no one is below anyone. I don't care what you've been told. We want you to know the healthiest way to love yourself despite imperfection. Take those and challenge yourself more. You make a mistake, admit your mistake. You're angry with someone, do the exercise we did with a fist. Know that you are worthy of love. You're worthy of that love that you're sending out to others. We do that on a daily basis. Why? Because we know that's the thing to do. I'm asking you to send love to yourself. Practice it. Never be too busy. Stop being afraid. You are here. You are present. Help someone to understand if you're getting, or excuse me, if you're giving love, you're worthy in every aspect of your life to feel the same love that you give out. We will be right back with Trisha's Treasures. Stay tuned. Vibe Talk is all about your wellness, motivation, thinking it through, challenging yourself, and changing your life. Get with Vibe Talk. We're here for you. We're back, and we're going to Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
See, the question of the day, it reminded me of thinking of things that I love about me and things that I love in general. And the first thing that I thought of was coffee. I love my love for coffee. I even made a song about it I like 4 tablespoons of sugar in my coffee, 'cause I'm sweet and I'm kind. My sincerity's divine, and that's me. And like, I love coffee so much, and I made a song about it. And it's the fact that knowing what I love and why I love it, I wrote it to basically tell myself that this is who I am. I'm a sweet person. I'm a kind person. And I'm sincere. And I love that because that is me. And we need to give ourselves a pat on the back sometimes. I'm always hard on myself. I am my worst critic. Nobody critiques myself more than I do. I promise you. So I need to learn to work on that and think about, even with coffee, every cup of coffee is not going to taste the same. Some cups are better than the others, and some cups are worse than the others. But at the end of the day, I still love coffee, regardless of the bad cup of coffee that I recently had yesterday. It doesn't matter. I still love coffee. I can just get another one or make a better one. That's what I am to me. No matter if I get angry or step out of character or I'm not myself today. We have those days. I know that I'm still treasure and I'm still the same person that I am. I'm still loving. I'm still sweet. I'm still kind. I'm still sincere. It doesn't change the fact that the negative parts of me doesn't outweigh the good parts of me that I love. And the parts of me that I need to learn to love are important as well. And I'm working on it. I'm working on learning to love certain parts of me. Like me being straightforward. I'm learning to work on that and love that part of me because I can. I can be straightforward with people, but it makes me afraid because I'm scared that I'm too hard on others. But I need to learn to love my honesty, and that doesn't make me a bad person, that I'm honest. Some people need to hear what they need to hear, and I need to hear for myself what I need to hear. So love yourself, love the good parts of you, and learn to deal with the bad parts of you, and know that you are still yourself. And if you don't like something about you that's healthy and you don't need that part of you, it's okay to say, I don't like that. I need to work on that. That's fine.
Mhm.
So take that and have it in your mindset and think about how you can change and how you can be better.
Thank you for that. Very powerful. Thank you so much for that. Did someone just give you a hands up, thumbs up?
No, that was me.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. We are at the close of our podcast, but not before we're asking ourselves and you, as the audience listeners, this one will be on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, do yourself a favor. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. We are Vibe Talk Facing the Lion on Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube. It's nice to know that there's been so many of you that have listened to the program. We are streaming everywhere. Um, we just want you to know that. And our lives are here. We used to be on every morning, but now that we're streaming, we want to give you guys what you've asked for, some of you, more of us, and let us know how you feel. That's important. We want to pour self-love into you. And before we leave, the question is, what did you learn from today's Think About Thursday and Wellness Wednesday we did? And how did it make you feel? First, we'll start with you.
Today, I learned that loving parts of me that I wish other people would love about me should be the starter of my mindset. To try and love me first before I give people an application on loving this part of me. That's not their job. That is my job. So, yes, I need to learn to do that. And my experience here today was a positive experience because love is always positive in my eyes. Love is a great feeling to feel. So, I'm feeling very positive today.
Love that. And I'm going to ask myself the same question. What did I learn and discover about today's podcast? That it's okay to ask for help, and that doesn't define your weakness. In fact, when you ask for something that you really need, that gives you the opposite of weakness, strong, because you know how. And the know-hows, when we learn how, makes our challenges grow. I promised you that I was going to let you in on an excerpt of the elderly couple. They were a loving couple, older couple. And so here it is before we go. Hold on. Have you guys been married? 33 years. And I just came and said how beautiful it was for you guys.
Thank you so much. You're a beautiful lady yourself.
Thank you so much for you guys shopping together. What you guys are shopping
We
together.
couldn't make it by ourselves.
This is love. They said.
Yes.
What did you say? What did you
True
say?
love.
True love, and you're holding each other.
Yeah, up.
Say that into the camera.
It's okay. You lying, we'll swear to it.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweet
you.
lady.
You're so welcome. Can I give you a hug?
Oh, please.
Oh, I love that
bless
so
you.
much.
Nice.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
made our whole week.
Wow. So we're affecting people. We want to touch you so that you feel love that we are trying to send. And so Vibe Talk is here for you wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you are. You can get on virtually, ask for help. And Saturday nights, I don't know if you've been following us on Instagram, because we want to draw attention for our Instagram followers. We're not just putting inspirational quotes up, but we want them to get involved. And so we have what is After Dark Saturday nights. And that's where you can come to our Vibe Talk page and you get on, and we might even find you to interview you just about life in general. So join us there on Saturday nights. If you're finding and following us, just find and follow us, because we don't have specific times. And by the way, on the 26th, we are celebrating the life and legacy, music, and philanthropy of Miss Olivia Newton-John. It's going to be very special to me. If you haven't noticed, our Tina Turner one went really well, didn't it, Trish?
It sure did.
Join us for Miss Olivia Newton-John. She happens to be one of my favorites since I was a adolescent. and I've always loved her music, but we're going to talk about her. And the reason we want to do that is because there was so much more to her than just her music or just her being Sandy in Grease. Love that movie. Love, love, love that movie. Every time it leaves my house for whatever reason and I can't find it, I go out and rebuy it. So we're going to talk about her. When someone passes away, we have so many great memories. I've never known her, but the memory. So we don't want to forget that and the contributions that she has lived through. And we are so grateful for her. We're so grateful. We want to say a special thank you to my amazing co-host, Trish. Trish, love, love, and light to you and your family. We are wishing your dad good health, your mom good health, and your family members. We're wishing them wellness. Thank you for being here today. Thank you to my audience. Thank you, and more thank yous. And we thank you for helping us to grow and be here. Thank you all so much. We are going to conclude now. Look for us. If you are feeling angry, disappointed with yourself, remember the fist thing in our exercise. You're going to hear us. Go to YouTube if you're missing any of this and join our channel. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you.
I was really about to lose it. I got the vibe with it. I really took the time with it. I really looked to ride with this. Yeah, really got the vibe with it. So with it. I really looked to ride with it. You can really see it, really you. When you get the vibe with it. Yeah, when you get the vibe with it. Yeah.